Three core functions of public health. First is assessment. Assessment is a collection, assemble, analysis, distribution of information on community health. The next step is evaluation, effectiveness, accessibility, quality of personal and population based health services. The next is policy development. This core function involves the development of comprehensive policies based on scientific knowledge and decision making. The last one is assurance. Assurance is like to assure about community recommended that a set of personal community wide services be determined by involving key policymaker and general public. Once identified, the community recommended that these services be provided to all member of community, either though encouraging action by other, by requiring action by other, or by direct provision. Now let's talk about 10 core functions of public health. We discussed previously that three core functions which are further divided into 10 essential services. Let's talk about the first core function, that is assessment, and which is further divided into three essential services. Like if we see that in assessment there is first of all is that monitoring health. First of all, we monitor the health of a person. The next important thing in assessment is diagnose and investigate. If we are monitoring the health of a person, then we look upon its health or other disease, if he is suffering from any disease or not. This is included in assessment. If somebody is diagnosed with cardiovascular disease and some other disease, there is some investigations like blood test, ECG and other ones. The next step is inform, educate and empower. This step is included in policy development. In policy development, we first inform, educate and empower the individual about the consequences of disease he is suffering from. The next one is mobilize community partnership. The other one is developing policies. Like if we talk about the cardiovascular disease, and in cardiovascular disease we should need to develop policies like to control how to control the cholesterol which is present in the cooking oil and the ghee present in the markets. We had to limit the amount which raise the cholesterol level in cardiovascular disease person. The next step is enforce laws. This is including an assurance part. Enforce laws मतलब let enforce a strict law to control the limit to control or limit the amount of fat which is used in manufacturing of cooking oil and ghees. The other one is linked to to provide care. The care should be provided in the government hospital and the other hospital established through NGOs. The next step is assure competent workforce. The last one is evaluate, and then again the circle is moving again and again. And the major step is research. We conclude with all parts and make research on the things so that it helps powerful for the future use. The 10 essential public health services that we discuss in detail, I am telling you in detail. Let's talk about the difference between public health versus medical care. In medicine, patient is the individual. In public health, patient is the community. Public health diagnoses the health of the community using public health sciences. Treatment of a community involves new policies and intervention. The goal of medicine is to cure, and goal of public health is to prevent disease and disability. This is the major difference between public health and clinical health. Let's talk about science and politics. if we understand the definition, science is how we understand threats to health, determine what intervention might work, and evaluate whether the intervention work. Politics is how we as a society make decisions about what policies to implement. Politics is part of both the policy development and assurance function of public health. Community pay for public health initiatives through taxes. Public health disciplines, it's further categorized into epidemiology, statistics, biomedical science, environmental health sciences, social and behavior science, health policy management. This lecture is concluded here and we will discuss further in the next video.